Hey guys, F1-26 here, and welcome back to highlights of the F1 League Season 4, and we're here for round 5 today at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona for the Spanish Grand Prix. As you can see, we're currently sitting in 6th place on the grid as we come to start our second attempt at quali lap. Silent Mall is currently sitting on pole as we now head down towards turn 1. Breaking down into third gear, missing out ever so slightly, but we still managed to maintain good speed through turn 2 and now heading down to turn 3, shifting down to 5th to get the car turned in and then back up to 6th and then up to 7th as we head towards this first sector split. As you can see, we're actually purple on the Silent Mole's time through sector 1, so that's a good start to our lap. A bit of loss of traction on the exit of turn 4 though as we now head down toward turn 5, very difficult corner. But we managed to get on the power nice and early there and avoid the curb on the exit, which can lose you lots of time and unsettle the back end of the car. Going through that chicane there, very nice, not cutting any corners and keeping it within the track limits nicely. Once again, this fast right-hander, easy to lose the back end on the curb on the exit there, which we nicely avoid. Now coming down into the hairpin, breaking down into second gear, we turn in a bit too much and take too much curb, and that's unsettled the car quite a lot on the exit there. As you can see, our delta's actually gone to red as we now come around this difficult and annoying right-hander. I actually hate that corner quite a lot because it's very difficult to get the power down on there to avoid understeering wide. Into the final chicane, we actually made a mistake here on our first lap. As you can see, the delta goes to green and we gain quite a lot of time through there. Flat out through the final corner then as we head towards the finishing line for a 121.3, and that puts us in P5 for the moment. Now on board with Dizzy Cupid on his lap, and he's bottled it there. He's touched the curb like I mentioned with the DRS open, and he has bottled. Well, he said it might have been a 1 minute 20.1, so that's a shame for him. But as you can see, Surprise Mare has actually got pole in his debut in the league ahead of Dizzy Cupid, with Silent Mole in third. Grumpy Line, solid drive to fourth. He of course won this race last season. RBZ 5th, Mike Marshmallow 6th, myself only down in 7th, and Dan the Man in 8th, also on a 21.3, so it's very close here in qualifying, and as you can see, Geston Zinker not setting a time at the bottom with Let's Box 1 there, and that's time for the race. So then, here we are on the grid, and the game is suggesting for us the soft medium hard strategy, which I believe is the best strategy. We might switch around the stints and go soft hard medium, but if there's a safety car at the right point we can maybe try to do soft medium, but it's quite a big stretch from what I was told. Obviously I hadn't done any practice for this race because I hadn't had time and I wasn't really enjoying the track due to I just never really got along with it. But as you can see, we're now pulling up on the grid for the race start. We've got Mike Marshmallow alongside us, and the lights are now starting to come on. We have 3 lights, now we have 4, and it's 5 lights, and now they're out and it's lights out and away we go. Grumpy Line got a lag start there. He didn't jump it, he got a lag start, so he's been released miles ahead of everyone else, and I suspect he'll be challenging for the lead into turn 1. We're alongside Mike, but there's a bit of lag going on there, so he braked early to try and avoid contact, and unfortunately we've taken out Dan the Man there, so huge apologies to Dan. Thankfully he didn't take me to the stewards. He's very accepting about it, he understands that kind of stuff happens, he's been league racing for long enough now. But we actually managed to get around the outside of Mike, and Mike's also under pressure from Carroll now, so overall a pretty decent start for us, apart from the unfortunate incident with Dan, which once again was partially down to lag. But anyway, coming into Sector 2 now, we can see Lions actually in second place. Dizzy Cupid is of course leading the race, no surprises there. He got a better start than Surprise Mare, who's now dropped to third, and Silent Mole's got a lag spike there. I believe someone was leaving the game and therefore he's got a lag spike and dropped down behind us, so that's another free position, and we're now into P5 just behind RBZ here coming down the second DRS straight. So this would be a fantastic result if we could hold on to this 4th place. But now coming through the chicane on lap 3, Grumpy Line's run wide into the gravel. He's clearly missed his braking point, and there we go. That's another free position up into P4. So that will give us a solid shout here at 12 points. But obviously we still got a lot of fast people behind us, like Silent Mole and Mike Marshmallow. But now skipping ahead to lap 5, Carol's retired from the session. He had contact with someone on turn 2, and I think he damaged his wing, so he decided to call it a day and retire from the race. He didn't destroy his car, but he just decided that he would retire. But we're still sticking with RBZ just about. He appears to have slightly better tyre management than us, which means he's now starting to pull away at the end of the stint as we get a bit sideways through there. But now there's a safety car, so clearly therefore I have decided that a safety car needs to be deployed for Carroll's car there, so we need to slow down for the Delta. But now the Delta's actually gone away, because the way the Delta works on this game, the Delta stays on until the next lap where you cross the finish line. Obviously, for us, when the Delta came on before RBZ and myself crossed the finish line, so we didn't have a Delta now, but Surprise Mare had already started lap 6 when the safety car came out, so here's a Delta and he's now going extremely slowly as well as lagging everywhere, so we need to let him back through because we got an illegal overtake there, as does RBZ, so that's quite annoying. We probably could have actually gained more time by continuing on, because I reckon it's only a 5-second penalty, so, and easily lost 5 seconds there, but we'd also have to overtake RBZ. So anyway, coming into the pits now, at the end of the lap, Surprise Mare's Delta's allowed pretty much everyone behind us to catch up as we now slow down, just about avoiding RBZ. But there's a huge problem for us. We're in the Haas, which is obviously the last car in the pit lane, so that means everyone behind us, literally everyone, is probably going to jump us unless the Haas boys can produce an absolute worldy pit stop, which I suspect will not happen, and we'll get absolutely shafted. So here we go, putting the medium tyres on, we decide to stick with the game strategy, and shock, we've been absolutely shafted. We're down into P7 at the moment, P8 as people go past on the pit straight, now down to P9 as well, I believe. Oh no, now P9 as Mike goes past. So yeah, Mike clearly put it on the previous lap for a set of hards, but at the moment, a lot of people have gone for the hard tyres. I decided to stick with the game strategy, go for the mediums. That might have been a mistake, but now the safety car restart. Grumpy Lion, who's now in the lead because he pitted at the end of the previous lap, is controlling the restart, and we're now ready to go green. The safety car line is there, I believe, as yes, we now have the green flag. Surprise Mare's messed up the restart, and that's going to allow myself and Geston Zinker a chance to get past. Surprise Mare actually on the medium tyres. We're pulling alongside Geston Zinker, a bit of lag there. I think we've got the position now as we head down towards turn 1. Can we get up the inside of Surprise Mare? He's locked up a little bit there. We're still on the inside. Can we hang it round the outside now? Yes, we can, and that is a very good move if I do say so myself. So up into P7 now on the restart. That's 2 cars in 2 corners, and that's exactly the progress we need to make now. As we now head a couple of laps later onto lap 12, we've stayed with Mike Marshmallow because Casey Legend, who started on the hards and didn't pit, was holding up these guys. So RBZ and Mike getting a bit held up by Casey, but DRS is now unable. But no, Casey's been spun out into the wall there by RBZ. I believe there's a bit of lag involved, as now Mike's looking up the inside of his teammate into turn 4, and then set to one side by side through there. Can they hold on? Mike, no, he's been spun out into the wall there. Mike couldn't quite get the move done, and I believe there's a bit of lag involved in that as well. So that's 2 free positions for us now. And now later on lap 12, Surprise Mare has actually left the session, I believe. He had damaged front wing, so he decided to retire. And Silent Mole has actually got another lag spike back into us, and then there's some more lag, I think, as he looks up the inside. I don't think he was actually looking up the inside, but I may be wrong there. And luckily there was not a major collision, so that's us up into the podium positions now, as you can see right behind RBZ now. But now, a few laps later, lap 19 rather, someone has retired from the race, and I think we're going to get a virtual safety car. Yes, indeed we do. So virtual safety car has been deployed, but unfortunately it's a poor time because we've missed the pit lane, so obviously that means we're not going to be able to benefit from it as much as we would. But at the end of the lap, are we going to come into the pits? The virtual safety car is now ending. We've got someone behind us, I think it's Grumpy Lion, who disconnected and then rejoined, so he's a lap down. RBZ decides to come into the pits, but I decided to stay out for one more lap. I thought the tyres had enough left, as we've got Lion coming up the inside. I suspect we're going to let him through because he is quite a bit faster than us at the moment, because our tyres are completely dead. I was still trying to hold out for this soft medium strategy, but this will soon come apparent to you and myself that this was a huge mistake. So now coming around the fast right-hander, and yep, we've got a puncture. So I was a bit annoyed at that, to be honest, because my tyres were only at like 88%, so I wasn't right at 100. As you can see, there's a huge amount of lag with Lion's car because someone else is leaving the session, I think, as we come round to the hairpin. But yeah, this is going to be a very slow journey back to the pits now for the remainder of this lap, and I stupidly still decided to do the soft medium strategy, even though I could have switched to soft medium hard now, but I decided I had time to make up, so I was going to go for this strategy still, as we now head through the chicane very slowly and painfully. Just coming into the pit lane now. We just need to bring the car in, not speed in the pit lane like we did in Russia, because then that will be race well and truly over. As we now head into pit lane, slowing it down nicely, Dizzy Cupid gets past us, as does Geston Zinker, who has not pitted yet due to being on the hard tyres on a different strategy. I think he's going to go for the soft tyres at the end. That's a very interesting strategy. which I maybe could have tried, but obviously I didn't know the strategy and how long all the tyres last. So we're probably going to lose quite a few places now as we head out of the pit lane. As you can see, we're currently ahead of Mike in P5, but no, Mike now goes past us there, and he does have to pit again, but it's not going to be easy to get past as we come into turn 1. They're running very deep on the cold tyres. So this has been a bit of annoyance for us because we've lost a lot of time to RBZ, who we will now of course not be battling against. Could cost us positions to runners who are on the hard tyre as well. So a few laps later, lap 22, we have a bit of a look into turn 1 just to see if we can unsettle him, but no, there's nothing going on there, and we'll just have to sit behind for a bit longer now. But as you can see, we are visibly so much faster than him, and this is what was frustrating me, because he's going to try and defend extremely hard even though we're not racing him. We have another look into turn 4 there, seeing if we can unsettle him. He's run a bit wide, so we might actually try this now as we go run outside heading into turn 5. Surely we can't get this move done. It will be very impressive if we do. Going to try and hang it around the outside there, but no, he just has the better line and more traction on the inside, and he shuts the door as we now head into the chicane. He's braked so early there, we've actually hit the back of him because he's going 2 miles an hour through the corner. So now I was really annoyed because I'm pretty sure that was deliberately going slowly on the apex of the corner to try and back me up for the DRS straight. So I'm very annoyed now as we head into the hairpin. We brake quite late into there and try and get a cutback line, but that didn't work out particularly well. So we need to try and dispatch of Mike as quickly as possible so we can maintain track position ahead of people like Hamilton Fan, because these tyres are going to completely die at the end of the race, I guarantee it. So we need to be very careful and then conserve the tyres so we don't get a puncture, because if we get another puncture that will be game over and we'll probably lose 3 or 4 positions. So coming to start lap 23 now, Mike is staying out once again, so I suspect he's going to go for soft tyres at the end as we pass Swiss King's glitch car. There's a yellow flag for some reason. I believe Hamilton Fan spun at turn 1, so he's lost a bit of time, and that will definitely help us later on in the race. But now, coming later on in the lap through the far right-hander, and Mike's now trying to get past Hamilton Fan, so this is going to cause a bit more carnage and stuff that we didn't want as well, because Mike has DRS. So we're going to try and hang it around the outside now. Very aggressive move around the outside. Mike's just going to shut the door on us there, because why not? So we've lost out on another opportunity to overtake, and we're now losing increasing amounts of time behind Mike and Hamilton Van here. So hopefully they both decide that they want to pit at the end of this lap, so we can have some clean air as we cut the corner there. So apologies for that, but no, they both decide to stay out for another lap, so that's just fantastic, isn't it? As Mike is now shaping a move on Hamilton Fan, and I'm pretty sure he'll get past here, and indeed he does. And we've got the DRS as well with the double slip ring, and Hamilton Fan is just a sitting duck on the straight there, and we managed to get the move done back up into P5 and still behind Mike, annoyingly. So we need to get past him as quickly as possible. His pace isn't too bad, I just prefer to be in front of him than behind him as we now head up with the DRS on the next lap around the outside of turn 1. This will be an impressive move if we can pull it off. We're going to try it because we really do need to get past him. Now he's going to squeeze us to the track. We're going to continue up the inside, and there's contact, or there's not really contact, there's a bit of lag there, I'm pretty sure. So that's quite annoying for us as the game puts it in reverse, because I paused it briefly, and that's going to lose us even more time as we now head out of the gravel trap. But yeah, I don't think that was Mike's fault really. I think definitely a bit of lag going on there, so I decided not to take that to the stewards. No point really. I was a bit annoyed at the time, but obviously at the end of the day that's racing. But this was what really annoyed me. At the end of that lap, Mike does actually decide to pit, so if we'd just been a little bit more patient, then maybe we could have got that position. But lap 29 now, Mike has caught back up to us on his soft tyres. He's been setting his fastest laps in the process, and we're not going to have a chance, to be honest. We're trying to conserve these tyres to make sure they get to the end, because the wear was getting very critical. So we're not going to fight this position. We're going to let Mike go, and hope we can just continue to the end of the race ahead of Hamilton Fan and Vapid Coupe, who are also closing on us. But now, lap 31, we've got Hamilton Fan behind us, but Jeff had told me that Hamilton Fan actually had a penalty, so if we could stick within 3 seconds, then that would be fine for us. So we're probably not going to fight this too hard. We'll fight it a bit harder than Mike so that we can hold him up for a bit, because as you can see, Mike has completely disappeared up the road. But we want to stick with Hamilton Fan because it's now getting to the point where it's worth fighting for the positions. He goes for a huge dive bomb as per normal, but we managed to hold that back around the outside into turn 3. But we're not going to have any grip through here on our ridiculously old mediums, as you can see. He's going to sneak up the inside there into turn 4. Can he make that move stick? Yes, he can. We're going to try and go for the switchback, but he nicely parks the car on the apex there and gets the move done. So some good driving from Hamilton Fan there. But now, at the end of the race, we've held on. We've lost Hamilton Fan, but we're still ahead of Vapid Coupe for the time being. So the question is now, can we hold on to this as we head into the final sector? Look at my front left tyre, it's absolutely gone. Are we going to be able to survive this without getting a puncture? Coming around the final chicane now, just one corner left and we'll be able to take home 6th place, which will be a good result considering the poor strategy. Vapid Coot is coming, but it's not going to be enough, and it's actually going to be 5th place because Hamilton Fan had 6 seconds of penalties. As you can see, there are the results. Dizzy Cupid taking the win ahead of RBZ, and Gaston Zinka taking his first podium in this league since all the way back in Season 1 on F1 2014. Mike Marshmallow comes home in 4th, myself in 5th. Hamilton Fan takes 6th due to his penalties, with Vapid Coot in 7th. Casey Legend fights back to 8th after his spin, with Dan the Man bringing home 9th, and Grumpy Alarm taking home the final point. So that was highlights from round 5 from the Spanish Grand Prix. So I'll see you very soon for highlights of round 6, which will in fact be the crash fest that is Monaco, hopefully out within the next couple of days. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.